from a classroom teacher to a school owner. In as much as I have the interest of these people at heart, the teachers, this thing is going to bless not only the teachers among us, but even the school owners among us will be mightily blessed too. There are so many rules and guidelines for somebody that want to start a school. You cannot just start a school. For you to climb a mountain, there is no need for you to struggle. All you need to do is to ask somebody that has climbed the mountain before how he or she was able to do that without getting hurt. So that is the purpose of this message to everyone this afternoon. Without wasting our time, there are so many rules and guidelines to somebody that want to start a school. And I just wrote it. I said rules to guide us in opening our school. So many things we are going to discuss here, and I'm going to relay them one after the other, and I'm sure nobody is going to get confused here, and the purpose for which this thing has been set out is going to be achieved by everyone. So let me start by telling us that for you to have a good school, there is a need for you to become a teacher first. I'm not going to go into more details about what I just said now, because this message is 3-in-1. We have a 3-in-1 message here under one topic. I'm going to treat two, while a colleague, one of our group experts, Mr. Daniel Obi, is going to treat one. So that means whoever buys this voice note is going to be blessed, mightily blessed. You have 3-in-1 voice note message. So I'm starting this one now by telling us all the guidelines that can allow you to become a good or a better school owner. I call it rule number 1. The first thing you have to do if you must be a good school owner is to have an inspiration and service to humanity. I said you have to have an aspiration or inspiration and service to humanity. You know, teachers are human. Teachers are the most beautiful people on earth. If you look around you, you see any teacher. Teacher is somebody you have to embrace and give kudos to, because any person that calls himself or herself a teacher is filled with service to humanity. Service to humanity. So if you want to start a school, the first thing you have in your mind is for you to have an inspiration or aspiration, and you must have the mind of having a good service to humanity. That means the first thing you have in your mind is not gains or benefits of owning a school. Like I said earlier on, that topic will be dealt with in the second or third part of this teaching. But I have mentioned it, and I still stand by what I said. You must be somebody that loves people, you love humans, you love them to the extent that you are ready to help them, you want to help them. You are there because you have the love for the job, you have the love for what you are doing. It is a job that calls for wonderful service to humanity. So that means you must not have this get rich quick syndrome. You must not have this get rich syndrome. If you are somebody that have this get rich syndrome, you can't be a school owner, because it may take years for you to gain money from what you are doing. Owning a school is not like you going to the market, selling your wares and coming back home with a lot of money. You have to be very patient, because it may take years for you to build and continue to build before you can say, yes, this is what I've been able to gain from what I've been doing. And apart from that, you must be somebody that is well qualified. That means you must be well educated. For somebody that wants to impact knowledge I know when we are talking about impacting knowledge, it doesn't have to be that somebody that has gone to big schools or somebody that has gotten so many certificates. I know that, but notwithstanding, you must be well qualified. You must have attended beautiful schools, must have gotten for yourself some certificates. It is a must if you want to be a good school owner. Then again, you must have it in mind to employ teachers, especially the NCE teachers, a first set of teachers in any school that you want to start. That means somebody that has a national certificate of education. This is very important because these are born teachers. When I said born teachers, they have been taught how to manage schools, how to go about school owning, and so many other beautiful things. Me talking to you, I didn't go to NCE. In fact, I read English and I've been a journalist for more than 24 years. I read journalism too. But because of the inspiration and service to humanity, I've been able to be in this profession for some time now, and I've been doing wonderfully well. In the second or third part of this message, I'm going to relate to you how I personally became a teacher. So, talking much about what I have said earlier, I said once you have started that school, you must employ NCE teachers as your first set of teachers because they have very important roles to play in your school. Then you personally too, if time permits, you must also possess a minimum of NCE certificates. For you to be a school owner. You haven't gone to the university, you haven't gotten your masters, you haven't gotten your BA or BSc, but it is of utmost importance for you to at least have a minimum of NCE certificate or postgraduate in education. Yes, an NCE certificate or postgraduate in education. So, coming back to your spouse now, you may be wondering what role can your spouse play in you owning a school. He or she has a very wonderful role to play because when the school starts, he or she is going to be in charge of administrative matters in the school because women are prone to emotional outbursts. That means if it happens that the person that wants to start the school is a female, the husband can be there to help her. And if the husband is the one that wants to start a school, it is very important for the wife to be there. But this is not too compulsory because you may be thinking, does that mean that if my spouse is not there, I cannot start a school? It's not compulsory, but it will be very well good for him or her to be beside you. You know, we women as wives, we always serve as complementary partner, and we always also know how to engage in finance control. So if your wife or your husband is qualified to play this role, you can invite him or her to this new school that you want to start. Having said all these things, the most important aspect of the first set of things that you must have in mind is what I call capital. In any business, capital is very, very important. Any business without capital is bound to fail. So there must be an availability of money and other resources that will determine the rate of growth that is expected in the school you are about to start. Money plays a major role. There must be money, there must be a backup. Like I said, capital plays a very vital role in any business. So for you to have a very wonderful, beautiful school, you must have a backup, financial backup. That is one of the most important things, like I've said. So having said that, there are some things that will be needed immediately. That's the next point now. Okay, you have had the mind of starting a school. I've given you some insights into what is expected of you personally, vis-a-vis your inspiration and service to humanity, not to have this get rich quick syndrome, about the certificate and many other things I have mentioned. I said things needed immediately. There are certain things we need immediately. You have the mind of starting at school. Number one thing is that you must have house acquisition or rentage. When I said house acquisition, probably God has blessed you enough to have your own building that you want to use. As a matter of fact, that is the most important thing you can get. For you to have a peace of mind and a wonderful school, having your own building is the most important, the most beautiful. You have a rest of mind. There will not be any fear of anybody coming to throw you out at any time. You can have the rest of mind to do whatever you have in mind to do. Notwithstanding, if you can't afford a house of your own, you can rent any apartment for that purpose. Then the next thing after acquiring a house or a building for the school is the construction of chairs and desks for both children and staff. You see, there is no way children will be sitting on the floor, and there is no way that the staff, the teachers, will be sitting on the floor too. So the first thing that you must have in mind immediately after you have acquired a building is to construct chairs, desks for both your teachers and your children. Then there must be a provision of recreational facilities. They are very, very vital. Provision of recreational facilities. We have so many of them, so many beautiful things, the swings, the turning chairs, and so many other beautiful things like that. Any school without that, the children may not enjoy their stay much. So we must provide recreational facilities. There must be a provision of teaching materials and aids, including a school bell. School bell plays a very major vital role because the bell announces the period of the time, all the time, whether it's the first period, second period, and you have a timekeeper. So there must be provision of teaching materials and aids, including a school bell. When we are talking about material and aids, buying wall charts, all these story books for children, and so many other wonderful, beautiful things. There are so many beautiful wall charts like ABC, 1, 2, 3, 2-letter word, 4-letter words, and so many others like that. Then for you to start on a very wonderful ground, you have to employ at least 1 to 2 teachers for the kind of school you plan. When I say for the kind of school you plan, you may want to start little. It's not everyone that has the money to start big. Many of us are very lucky. I remember very well when we started Berkeley Academy. That is the name of my school. We started with 10 teachers. So that time we have the building on ground already. I will relay this story in the third or second part of this lesson. That is coming. Let me continue with what I'm explaining. So I said there must be provision of teaching materials and aids, including a school bell. Employment of 1 to 2 teachers for the kind of school you are planning to have. If one lacks the capital to provide any of the items listed above, you can still commence by first establishing both morning and evening lessons. You know, some big school that we have today, they started little, like I said earlier. What they were doing was just to be organizing morning and evening lessons for school children, and from there, many big schools have history of such humble beginning. There's nothing bad in having a very humble beginning. So I haven't told you about the things that are needed immediately. Let us talk about things required much later. That means after you might have started your school, there are so many things that are required much later. And one of them is the purchase of registration form from the State Ministry of Education. You see, this could be done a year after commencement anyway. That means you are not starting immediately, because it is not immediately you start a school that will be looking for accreditation. But it is very, very important for you, maybe about a year after starting that school, you have to get a form from the Ministry of Education. You have to get it from them. Then it is also advisable that before you do that, nothing stops you from registering your school with the CAC. That is very, very important. That was exactly what I did. You register your school with the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. That shows that you are very serious about what you are doing. But about a year after that, you have to get a registration form from the State Ministry of Education to announce that you are starting a particular school, for them to know that a particular school is being situated at a particular place. Very, 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 very important. So having said that, I'm moving to the next point. You have to get an administrative record. An administrative record book is very, very important in a school, and we call it log book. What did I say? We call it log book. Log book is the historical document of the school. It carries all the important happenings in the life of the school. And firstly, we are going to do the date of the school was. We are going to write the date of the day the school was established. You have to do that. It is very, very important. In my school, we have a log book. Every happening is written in the log book. When the school was established, you must document it in the log book. The number of teachers you have started with, you have to register it in the log book. Any midterm holidays, you have to register it. Every end of the year, you have to register it. Your visiting day, you have to register it. Many so beautiful things. Parent teachers meetings day, you have to register in your log book, because these are historical part of your school. And when some people from the ministry, when they come, anytime they visit your school, they know that your school is well recorded, so they can give you a pass mark. There are already ready-made log books. That is exactly what I have in my school, ready-made. Just go to booksellers, go to the accountant and ask for a log book, so they will give it to you. Oftentimes, log book have a hardcover note for this purpose that will be attached to the log book. That is where you can record all the content or records that of everything you have done or you are doing in the school. So the book is at times very, very scarce, but you have to try and get it. So the log book looks like a textbook. In appearance, it is an hardcover book and it appears like a textbook. That's point number one. Point number two, I call it pupils admission progress and withdrawal register. I hope you are noting all these things I'm mentioning. Pupils admission progress and withdrawal register. That is the next thing you get after your log book. What is this book meant for? The information in this book, like the log book, should be permanent throughout the life of the school. Yes, every information about the school, just like the log book, will be kept in this admission progress and withdrawal register. You have to get a very big register where you will register every child that passes through your school. This is very simple to obtain in the market. It has a hardcover like a notebook too, and it could be used in the alternative. And all the content should, however, be transferred just into the book, just like the logbook. So that is the second thing you need as a school, somebody that's about to start a school. Then number three, there must be a register of attendance. This is very compulsory and very important for keeping good record of the seriousness or otherwise of the pupils. In this register of attendance, you know how serious your students have been. You know those that have not been coming to school, the absentees. This is very, very, very compulsory. They call it the attendance register. So it will be an embarrassing situation if the inspectors come and the schools have no register. God forbid, many of the children that come to your school, and somebody just get lost How will you know that he or she has been in the school that day if you don't keep your register of attendance? If the person has been in the school, they will know that he or she has been in the class or in the school. If he or she hasn't come to the school, hasn't entered the school gate, it will through this register of attendance that you will know. So it is very, very vital. You've got to get it. It is compulsory. Then number 4 is what I call the staff records. Staff records. Some of the staff recording include the following. This is A, notices of interview. Notices of interview. I said I want to assure you that you should not be tempted to use unorthodox method of securing staff for the school. See, some people, when people just come, how are you? What is your name? Have you worked in any school before? Which school did you attend? No. There must be notices of interview. Notice of interview. When you do that, a lot of people will apply. They will come. You have the opportunity of choosing from millions of friends and relatives or people you do not even know that will come for the interview. Then that shows the quality of your school too. There must be notice of interview. If you don't have the notice of interview, your school will just look like it is very disorganized school. Everything must be orderly. Everything must be orderly. Then if you don't have notice of interview, or you don't put wonderful things on ground, like I've said, like all these things I'm mentioning, you can't punish or penalize relative. Let's just say you have employed some of your relatives. When there is no notice of interview, he or she can do anything to you. But if there is notice of interview, you can go back to the form he or she has submitted, and inside that form, he or she will be able to see all the do's and don'ts of the school. If you don't have it, there will be gross indiscipline, which can affect your school in the future. So notice of interview is very important. I've told you what the notice of interview consists. It's like a form. Then the people that have submitted the form, you can invite them for interviews. Every personal information will be there, and you'll be able to have a very orderly school. So there are so many other forms or other things that must be included in the notice of interview. I have just mentioned one of them. The notice of interview is number 1 under staff record, and the second one is employment application forms. You need employment application forms. You want to employ somebody, there must be a form to that effect. There must be employment application forms. They will pick it. Whoever plans to work in your school must definitely automatically pick the form from the school. Then there must be conditions of service. That is the third one under staff record. Don't forget we're on staff records. And I've mentioned that the first thing on the staff record is the notice of interview. The second one is employment application forms. And the third one is conditions of service. Conditions of service. Then the fourth one is rules and regulations. Rules and regulations. Everybody knows what rules and regulation means. Then there must be system of promotion. System of promotion. Under these employment application forms, I'm trying to go back to number 2 because there's a need for me to explain certain things. Under these employment application forms, everything that somebody that wants to work with organization should know will be under the form. From that form, he or she will know much about the condition of service. Okay, this is what is expected of you in this organization. This is what you can do. This is how to go about it. This is the kind of degree that you must have. This is what so and so you must do. Then immediately after that comes the rules and regulations. Every school, not necessarily school, every organization must have rules and regulations guiding it. If you don't have rules and regulations, People will just behave, they will misbehave, and they may even face you and say to your face that, did you give me any rule or any regulation when you are employing me? So it is very, very important to have this thing under staff records. Number 5 thing you must have under the staff record is the system of promotion. All these employment application form, condition of service, rules and regulations, and the system of promotion will be with the management. All these do not concern the employee, does not concern them. The only one that concerns them, from what I've been saying, are the notice of interview and the employment application. But the condition of service, rules and regulations, system of promotion, all these are coming from the management. But immediately you give them their employment letter, you can add all these conditions of service, rules and regulations to them. But the system of promotion belongs to the management. Although in some situations you can tell them system of promotion, if you do this, you are able to achieve this, you will get promoted to a so particular position. That can be included in the letter of employment, but oftentimes this comes much more later, not immediately after somebody is employed. Then you should have employment agreement forms. That is what number is that? I think number 6. Notice of interview number 1, employment application form number 2, conditions of service 3, rules and regulations 4, system of promotion 5, and employment agreement forms is number 6. There must be an employment agreement form that somebody you plan to employ should have. There must be a candid, strong agreement form. That means he or she is ready to agree with whatever you put before him or her. All these things are very, very compulsory and important, so that you can have an each free can have a guilt-free agreement with your employees. Then under this same staff records, there must be staff confidential files. There must be staff confidential files. Every staff must have a confidential file. This file is very, very important. Those that are doing wonderfully well, you can put it inside their file. Those that are erring, that they are always getting query, you put them inside their files. All these things will speak for him or her eventually when promotion time comes. Then you must have the staff ID cards. I think that's number 8. There must be staff ID cards. You see, for any organization that want to appear serious, must have staff ID cards, because you are running a school. People should be able to know that this so and so is working with you, because when you deal with children, it calls for caution. Nobody can just come and pick any child. Nobody can just come and open your gates and this kind of stuff. So you must have staff ID cards. Then there must be staff attendance register. If you know how well your staff are coming early to school, there must be a staff attendance register that they will sign with the gate man or with the cashier. With the clerk rather. Staff attendance register, which they must sign every day. Then there must be a query forms. There must be a query form. What number is that? I think that should be number 10 or 11. Number 1, notice of interview. Number 2, employment application form. Number 3, conditions of service. Number 4, rules and regulations. Number 5, system of promotion. Number 6, employment agreement forms. Number 7, staff confidential files. Number 8, appointment notices. Number 9, staff ID cards. Number 10, staff attendance register. And number 11, query forms. There must be a query form. That is number 11. So there must be some erring staff that must be given query to. Query must be given to them. So you must have one ready for them. Then number 12, staff payment vouchers. You must have a staff payment voucher. Don't think at how big or small your school is. All these things are very, very necessary. You have to get yourself prepared. You have to start wonderfully, so that as your school grows, everything will have been on ground. Number 12, you must start paying vouchers. Don't just pay your teachers and maybe I've just started, I can be giving them money off hand, I can be doing. No, you have to do everything well. You have to have staff payment vouchers. Give them their vouchers, let them go and get the money from the bank. Or anyway, presently we are in the era of sending money to people, if that is what you want to do. But staff payment vouchers are very important. The vouchers are very, very important. Then number 13, staff payment slips. There must be staff payment slips. You have to write it, give it to them like it is done in any other organization. You write the salary, you are going to write the money for the maybe for transportation. You have to give them, you have to list every, probably if somebody is getting maybe 50,000 naira from the staff payment slip, he or she will know how much is the main salary, how much is meant for transportation, how much is meant for the clinic when he or she is sick, and so on and so forth. Then there must be sick report forms. If somebody, any of your staff is sick, he or she must be able to fill these report forms and will be submitted to the management. So you can see that all those things that I've mentioned, they are vital and most important. They are very, very vital and most important. So I hope you will not forget this. So when all these things are being prepared, you are showing that you are ready to start a school. Having said all those things, there's a need for staff. We must talk about staff qualifications. I mentioned earlier that you yourself must have gotten a certain degree for yourself, but the minimum you can have as a school owner is the NCE, National Cycle of Education, or postgraduate in education. What about your staff? What should be their qualifications? Or are you just going to pick just anybody from anywhere? No. Candidate number 1, your candidate should possess at least an NC certificate or equivalent, which should include English language, mathematics major, plus 2 years teaching experience. If you want to run a very smooth school, I advise you. All this I'm telling you is what I did and what has helped my school to grow to the stage it is now. So your candidate should possess at least an NC certificate or equivalent, which should include English language and mathematics major, plus 2 years teaching experience. Then number 2, he or she must be a married woman of 30 years and above, and he or she must possess a minimum of first living school certificate and special interest in children. Yeah, you may be wondering, must he or she be 30 years of age? Maturity plays major roles in getting your staff. I remember very well when I started my school, majority of the people I employed, they are unmarried people, especially women among them. By the time they got married, I lost many of them. They have to move with their husband to wherever he or she, or wherever the husband is. They were just moving eventually, and I regretted it so much. So for such a thing not to happen to you, it is better to get married women of about 30 years or above, and that are living very closely. They are living closely, very close to your school, because they will serve you better than those people that are living from afar. For them to get to school, for them to do this and that. But if they are very close to you, very close to your school, they can work better, and they may nobody pray for somebody to serve you till kingdom come. But for you to have a very healthy school, it is advisable to have people that can at least stay with you for a while, so that everything will have been so much organized, instead of changing teachers every 3 months or every term or session. So that it is advisable, and I hope you follow that advice. must look for a married woman or a man of 30 years and above who possess a minimum of first living school certificate and special interest in children. You must ask anybody that does not have special interest in children cannot be a good teacher. He or she cannot be a good teacher. They must show great interest in children. Then candidates should be literate, not less than 25 years of age, and should be an ex-serviceman or high experience in security staff. When we are talking about somebody that will mind your gate, when people are looking for gate man, they will look for one old man that is senile and may not even remember if another person has come to pick children. That will not help your school. You have to look for a person not less than 25 years of age. He or she may be an ex-serviceman. You may be wondering, how can a 25-year-old be an ex-serviceman or woman? We need somebody like that. You can get one. I'm very sure between the age of 25 to 30 years, you can get one if he or she has started early. Those are the kind of people that can mind your gate. It's very, very important. So those are very, very important information that I've given out. We have to follow this, and when you follow this, definitely you run a very smooth school. So like I've said earlier about the staff attendance register, very important. Then other administrative record documents. There are so many other. I've mentioned the staff records, then I've mentioned the staff qualifications. I'm now on other administrative record documents. Administrative record is very, very important, very vital, because any school without administrative records documents is preparing to fail. Under these administrative record documents, number one thing that we have there are pupils admission forms. Pupils admission forms. Any person, any child that is brought to your school, they must register him or her first. Under that form, we get all the vital information about that child: the age, the date of birth, the names, name of parent, the occupation of parents, and so on and so forth. Then you must have a payment register. There must be a payment register. You alone cannot do this thing. You are going to get some people into the account department, despite having people in the account department, despite having the receipt of transaction. The school must have a payment register. It will help you if there is going to be any kind of commotion anywhere concerning payment. You can get all information from this payment register. Then there must be payment receipt booklets. Payment receipt booklets. I've mentioned receipts are very vital. If anybody pay and you didn't give him or her receipt, it will not go well. So receipt play very vital roles in any business transaction. Then there must be visitors notes. There must be visitors notes. Visitors notes says what it says. Visitors notes, when people come visiting, they must register their names, the time they came, their phone numbers, their addresses. All these are very vital. Then there must be transfer certificates. Transfer certificates. Some due to one reason or the other, a child that is in basic 3 in your school, they want to go to another school, the parent may ask for transfer certificates, so that especially when they want to go to government schools, it is this transfer certificate that will be given to them. Then you have to have duty book roster. Duty book roster. Some people are so lazy that it is just a set of people that will be working tirelessly. But if you want to run a smooth school, you must have a duty book roster. Place it on the school wall. I have one there. Maybe who and who should lead the assembly this week, who and who should be in charge of sport activities, who and who should do this and that. You must have your duty book roster so that you can run a very smooth school, like I said earlier on. Then you must have staff union meeting minute books. Don't deceive yourself. Your staff will not be having their own union. They have their own meetings, but there must be minute books that whatsoever they discuss in their meeting must be recorded down in the minute books. Then there are other files. This is a very long one. There will be different kind of files in your school. Different kind of files. I'm going to mention about maybe 30 something of them here. I hope you will not get bored, because I'm actually helping you to start and run a smooth school here. You can write them down. Thank God, I'm sure you are going to have this audio ebook, so you can anytime go into that audio book and get this thing if you miss any. So many of the files that you have, number one, I call it staff confidential files. There must be a staff confidential files. Number two, there must be pupils admission forms files. Number three, there must be pupils confidential files. Number four, employment application letter file. Number five, there must be employment interview file. All those I've mentioned just about 5 out of these 38 or 40. Everybody knows what staff confidential files mean. These files belong to each of the staff. It is our own confidential file. Whatever he or she does in your school, in your organization, will be recorded there. Just be filing it. Pupils admission forms files. Once a child is admitted into your school, there must be a particular file where you put every other child that comes to school. Pupils confidential file. Each of your students must have a file. You will know everything about that pupil there, everything about him or her, whether he or she is a sickler, whether he or she have this particular problem. Even the one that do not have problems, they have to have confidential files for future use. Then number 4, I call it employment application letter file. Every of the staff that you have employed, they must have put their application letter inside the file. There must be one file for that. Just be putting all the application forms that have come to the school inside the file. Then number 5, I say employment interview file. All the interviews that you have done, everything must be put inside that employment interview file. Number 6, employment application forms file. All the applications that you have received, you have to put them there. Yeah, you have to put them there. Then we have the staff condition of service file. The staff condition of service. Condition of service is the rules and regulations you are giving out to the person you have employed or you are planning to employ. This should be documented inside the staff condition of service file. The staff rules and regulations file. All the rules and regulations meant for your staff must be written inside this employment agreement form file. Then we have the staff system of promotion file. The system, every organization has a system of promotion, and I think I've mentioned that earlier. This can be included in the letter of employment, so that a staff will know that this is what and what we do that we hand you a particular promotion. Query forms file must be. I've mentioned query somewhere in this teaching, in this lesson too. There must be a query form file. Don't forget, we are mentioning all the files that is expected, or every file that is expected to be found in your school. Every file that is expected to be found in your school. You must have staff payment vouchers file. Staff payment vouchers file. There must be staff payment vouchers file, the used and the unused. Don't forget, I mentioned that twice. Staff payment vouchers file, the used one they have used. Then staff payment vouchers file and the unused ones. Everything must be separated. You must have staff payment slips. I've told you what is meant for in my earlier. Then sick report form file, the unused and the used must be there. There must be manager confidential file, admin, because there are different departments in a school. We have the admin department, we have the academic department, we have the outgoing department, and so many other files. So we have to have the manager confidential file, admin. We have to have the manager confidential file, academics. The headmaster confidential file must be there. You must definitely have an HM. Then the headmaster confidential file, must be for both the admin and academics. You have one for the academics, you have one headmaster's confidential file for the admin too. There must be transfer certificate file. I've mentioned the transfer certificate. If there's an outgoing student, this certificate is usually given out, that will be given to them wherever he or she is going to. There must be staff union meeting letters file. Staff union meeting, don't forget that any meeting that your staff have, there must be a letter to that effect, because they write a letter to the organization for that they will be meeting so and so that whatever they want to do, the organization or the management will not see it as trying to bring problem or trouble into the organization. There must be staff union meeting document file too. There must be parents and guardian documents file. The parents of your pupils or their guardians, there must be a file for them too. Don't say these are too much. There must be parent guardian letter, like I said. There must be PTA meeting lectures. I have that. All these things I mentioned, I have them in my school. Our PTA comes once in a term. Everything that has been spoken about, we will normally file them inside the PTA meeting letters file. Then we have PTA meeting documents file too, and there must be PTA minutes file. A minutes file is very important. All the minutes of the PTA meeting must be put there. So all these things are very, very important. I've mentioned pupils admission forms earlier. I've mentioned receipt booklets earlier. I've mentioned visitors notebook earlier, very, very important. I've mentioned certificate transfer and many other things. So all those things I've mentioned, they are very, 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 very important. With all these things that I've mentioned, there is no doubt in my mind that if you can get them done, you are ready for that school. You are ready for that wonderful school that you have in mind. Orderliness is good. Planning is very wise. There is nobody that will want to do anything without planning will fail. He who does not plan is planning to fail. So all this must be taken into consideration. Like I told you earlier, this is going to be 3-in-1 lesson. This is the first part of the lesson. The second part and the third part will be done by me and one of our group experts, Mr. Daniel Obi. And I'm sure the 2 other lessons we are going to learn more. In one of them, I'm going to relate to you my own experience as a teacher before I became a school owner. I'm going to teach you all the rudiments. All this one I've mentioned, they're just the beginning. All you have to get ready. But after you are there, what is expected of you is in this with 3-in-1. You are going to get it in one of the lessons, while Mr. Daniel Obi will be giving you more information pertaining to administration and many other important tools in a school. Thank you for listening to me. I'm very sure you are wonderfully blessed from this lesson.